And drive carefully tomorrow morning.
Good thing you're not held personally responsible, Cal.
Anyway, I really wish I could promise you a much nicer Sunday, but such is not going to be the case. We only had 11/100ths of an inch of rain here in the city, but a lot more in central and south Jersey. This is incredible for early or mid-August, I should say. 63, 87% humidity. 66 is all we could do. Northeast at 8, but it's been gustier than that, and it's up to 20 miles an hour plus in many coastal communities, and a rising barometer. Light rain across parts of Long Island, either light rain or drizzle, back off and on through eastern and central and southern New Jersey, down through Seaside Park and Sandy Hook, on down across Trenton, Wrightstown, Atlantic City, Millville. Look at all the low 60s, even upper 50s at Trenton. The satellite view over the past 12 hours shows the one batch of rain that moved out today. But as you take a close look at this, you can see how bright white clouds are coming toward us from the Carolinas and Virginia. And as we stop the motion, you can see where they are, right there. And that lines up very well on radar taken just in the last 30 minutes. You can see little spotty blotches of rain. Here's our rain from this morning. That's long gone now. This other rain is moving into central and south Jersey, and there's some pretty good rains where they don't need it. They had 3 to 5 inches in the Norfolk area earlier today with even a tornado and some damage reported there. Some of that rain is going to be moving up and become heavy at times later tonight. Well, what about the tropics? This is a view from about 8 o'clock this morning to 9 o'clock tonight. See this feature here? Now, this is the coast of Africa. It's about 500 miles southwest of the Cape Verde Islands. You can see a little bit of twisting to the clouds here, but if you take a closer look as we stop the motion, or will shortly, the center of these disturbances is right here. But notice the bright white clouds are moving away from the disturbance center, so it doesn't seem to be developing too fast. Also, a low-pressure system in the upper atmosphere are watching, but that hasn't really worked its way down to the ground yet, so we're not really concerned about that just yet. What about Sunday? Well, the Sunday forecast map shows rain, some of it heavy at times in the morning. It'll probably be tapering off to intermittent showers or drizzle during the course of the afternoon, but we could get another thorough soaking, at least for parts of the area. Notice, still pretty cool. Monday, maybe a bit of a break, but still a good chance of a shower or thunderstorm as we rise into the 70s. This weather system still kind of stalled out, though weakening overhead. More rain, some of it heavy late tonight, upper 50s to low 60s, and gusty winds along the coast. Tomorrow, rain heavy at times through midday or early afternoon, then tapering off, gusty northeast winds turning south-southeast, late rough season surf. Your 5-day forecast shows that we're going to have a very slow go to come out of this for the next couple of days, maybe by the time we get back to work on Monday and the early part of next week. Naturally, I've been saying this so many times this summer season will come out of it.
You think we can get a nice weekend in there?
We had a great one about 2 weekends ago, but they've been few and far between.
I know.
Next weekend.
All right.
Hey, put your instruments away, orchestra. Well, a lot of people are singing in the rain. As a matter of fact, and we'll continue to do so for a while anyway. If we do any singing, it'll be in the rain. Where is our temperature at the moment? And by the way, we're looking at some lovely scenes from lovely Central Park. Compliments of Dean Hart and Carmine Aloisio, 2 very talented people, and I count them among my dear friends. 65 with light rain and a northeast wind at 8 miles an hour. We have a barometer that is falling, 30.16 inches. And the relative humidity, 97%. Oh, that's so pretty, so inviting. I think the rain is absolutely lovely. And why are we getting it? Well, there you see, once again, very graphically along the coast, it's that cold front that is hugging the coast. It moved away, it's coming back. It moved away, it's coming back. And it's filled with clouds. The clouds are filled with moisture. I can't say filled because they're pouring an awful lot of rain on our part of the world. Let's check the radar right now. Step out of the way. Earlier, about an hour ago, there was a really heavy amount of rain in this part of the country. Now we see another cell that's in parts of New Jersey. Anyway, it's just going to be off and on rain, probably right on into tomorrow night. The Met game was rained out, as you probably know. If you don't, Sal will tell you about it in a second. 65 the high, 60 the low, and we've picked up over 4/10 of an inch of rain today. We have temperatures generally in the 60s, but what's going on in Atlantic City? It's 74 degrees there. Cool down, Atlantic City. Come on. We'll have the clouds stay with us, and lows will fall back into the 60s tonight. Not a great deal of a change in the temperature. A northeast to east wind bringing moisture in off the ocean, and it will rain and rain and rain. Sunrise 6:08 in the morning. Temperature still in the 60s. Lots of clouds and a persistent northeast to east wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour. We add to the mix tomorrow perhaps some thunderstorms. Highs maybe in the 70s. Sunset at 8 minutes before 8 o'clock, and again, a northeast to east wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour. 5-day forecast, here it is. 73 our high tomorrow. Lots of clouds and a good chance of rain and thunderstorms. And the same is true for Tuesday, 78 for a high. Now, come Wednesday, we'll see some sunshine, but late in the day, a chance of showers and thunderstorms and some sunshine the rest of the week. except at night, which is still scheduled to be dark. And that's
It's proved to be a massive bungee jump by all, in terms of all summer merchants. It's been a tough go. And really, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, to hold temperatures in the 60s, the middle of August, takes some doing. There it is, 65 is all we could do. 66 currently, that's the high for the day. The dew points have come up. That means it's getting more humid, but we still have that persistent northeast wind. Rain is now falling, or very light rain for the most part. Across Connecticut and Long Island, there's a lot of fog around, too. You can see temperatures are presently in the 60s, but as you head west through Jersey, beyond some low clouds and some spotty drizzle, no real rain. Warm down in South Jersey, Millville, 71. Atlantic City was in the low 70s earlier. The satellite motion shows us where the first batch of rain came from. It came out of Virginia, but you can see the enhanced clouds, which is the main rain, is moving away. Now, you'd look at that, and you can see some of this partial clearing down in parts of Virginia, saying that that's going to be good news for tomorrow. Take another look. Take a look right down here. You see these clouds coming up? That's more problems and more rain. But the radar at least tells us that except for Long Island, Connecticut, and southeastern New York, most of that rain is now moving away. You can see from Jersey down to Delaware and Maryland is basically rain-free. But those clouds from West Virginia just peeking into the picture in Norfolk is more rain. How about the tropics? Tropical depression just so named by the National Hurricane Center as of 11 o'clock. We haven't had a chance to get the coordinates for you to put them on the map, but I did get a chance to peek at them. They're at 11.2 north, 38.3 west. Now, here are the islands of the Antilles here, about 1,525 miles due east of Barbados is where the system is. It's moving west at 20. Conditions are marginally favorable for development. There's pretty strong winds from the east over the system, so that may inhibit development. But if those winds weaken, we could see some development. And this will be named Andrew, if it's so named, by the Hurricane Center over the next couple of days. Anyway, the forecast weather map for tomorrow doesn't really show much change. We'll have some fog and drizzle, and then a little disturbance will come up and bring an increasing amount of rain here and maybe some thunder later in the day and tomorrow night. And Tuesday, the system will be weakening. We may have a chance to see some breaks of sun or brightening skies by Tuesday afternoon. Tonight, most of the rain is to the north and east of the city, just some drizzle, and watch for the fog in the 60s. Tomorrow will start out just rather cloudy and drizzly, but some showers and thunder will move in during the course of the afternoon and evening from southwest to northeast, meaning from Jersey on up the turnpike into our own area. The 5-day forecast tells us very, very slowly we'll come out of this. As I said, don't bet on it, but we might see some sun through the clouds Tuesday afternoon, and by the middle and latter part of the week, it looks better. And I have had a chance to look at some information that goes way down the road, and it might indicate that the weekend looks pretty good, but I wouldn't want to say that on a Sunday.
This is the first week that we've had rain at the beginning of the week. We usually have a beautiful day on Monday and Tuesday.
True.
So maybe
That's
if we reverse it a little bit, we'll be okay for the weekend.
Let's hope.
Okay, thanks, Ellen. Still ahead, Tom has sports. It was less than a banner day at Shea. We'll be right back.
A look at the location of the jet stream, find out why the type of weather has been occurring. On the west, the jet continues to ride north of the border, thus responsible for the warm conditions in that part of the country. It dives down a bit in the central part of the nation, but another branch of the jet bringing plenty of moisture, adding the fuel to the rain and showers along the eastern seaboard. As we put the picture into motion, the major weather features are that tropical low pressure in the eastern part of the nation, with northwesterly winds yesterday morning from Texas to Minnesota down to North Carolina, while acid highs were set with that ridge of high pressure out in the western part of the country. We'll turn our attention now out into the tropical Atlantic, where we've been keeping our eye on a tropical depression located at 11.6 north, 40.4 west, about 1,390 miles to the east of the Lesser Antilles. Maximum sustained winds are up to 35 miles per hour, and some strengthening is expected as this depression moves off to the west at about 23 miles per hour. Now back to the United States motion, we find the showers, some thunderstorms continued with a stationary front located along the eastern seaboard. Some rather heavy rainfall announced during the past 24 hours. Norfolk picked up more than 2 inches, Goldsboro 4 inches, and Cape Hatteras picked up about 1¼ inches. Some showers and thunderstorms also rumbled across the southeast and down into the central Gulf states. Wind damage reported with some of these storms in Alabama and Georgia, and Waycross picked up about 1/2 inch of rain. As we move westward, we find another cold front pushing into the north-central part of the nation. This has been touching on some showers and thunderstorms out ahead of it. But out to the west in the Intermountain region, plenty of active showers and thunderstorms across the Rockies and then back out into the Sierra Nevada in California. Heavy thunderstorms across Montana and Wyoming. Glendive, Montana picked up more than 1 inch of rain, and 1 inch of rain fell in only 15 minutes at Riverton, along with some strong and gusty winds. Gusty winds also with thunderstorms up to 65 miles per hour, and 1/4 inch of rain in a short period of time in Tremont in Utah, and then those showers and thunderstorms across the Sierra Nevada during the afternoon. Let's take a look at a regional NORAD this morning centered on International Falls, and we find some strong thunderstorms from around International Falls back to north of Fargo, and then more showers and thunderstorms back to the northeast of Bismarck. We'll turn our attention now to the regional NORAD, and we see that line of showers and thunderstorms pushing out ahead of the cold front in the north central part of the nation. Highest tops to about 45,000 feet. More showers and thunderstorms across the plains. Tops range from about 24 to 30,000 feet. Showers and rain, few embedded stationary front along the eastern seaboard and down to the Gulf Coast. Tops range from as low as 18,000 feet to as high as 40,000 feet off the coast of Maine. We'll turn our attention now to current weather and map and pressure located over the Canadian Maritimes with the wavy stationary front right along the eastern seaboard down in the Gulf of Mexico. Rain, showers, clouds, and fog lowering visibilities through the eastern third of the nation this morning. Visibility is right after zero. York, 1/4 of a mile, Black Island. Both Pittsburgh and Philadelphia reporting visibility down to an 1/8 of a mile. Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina has visibility down to 1/16 of a mile in a combination of rain and fog. High pressure is centered over the Midwest this morning, so patchy areas of fog to portions of the Mississippi Valley. Out in the western part of the nation, we find a showers and thunderstorms across the heights and cold front, pushing southward into the north central part of the nation as it's northward into today. Out in the far west, the weather is pretty tranquil, just a few showers in the northwestern part of Nevada. A lot of fog again along the California coast. It's right down to 0, or rather 1 mile at Crescent City, California, 1/2 mile up at Astoria, Oregon, and then 1.5 miles at Arcata, California. Now, the typical extremes around the nation at 6 a.m. daylight time range from 30 degrees in Charleston, 3 degrees to spots as Yuma and
New York now, look at the air is completely saturated. Temperature and dew point matching up here. 100% humidity. Wind out of the northeast at 7 and the barometer holding steady from 30.16. And again, just a rainy, foggy, drizzly night in New York that has feel like it's been this way ever since the end of last week. Because it has, basically. We still have rainy weather. 64 at Greenwood Lake, 66 at White Plains. Very uniform temperatures because we do have all of that cloud cover. And look at what is coming out of these clouds. Rain that continues to sort of run like a train all the way up from the mid-Atlantic states. Some more heavier rain along Salisbury, Maryland, up towards Atlantic City. That's pushing on through now, so we still have more problems for the rest of the night on into tomorrow. But again, there is relief coming. You can see it on the satellite. Dry air across Michigan and Illinois while we still have the clouds moving up the eastern seaboard. But notice this area of cloud cover coming in across parts of Wisconsin and Iowa. That's going to be the trigger to finally get rid of this stuff, and that'll take place during tomorrow, and really the improvement, you'll notice it on Wednesday. The map tonight showing that system still stalled along the east coast with cool 70s all along that area from the Great Lakes to the northeastern states, with the warm weather really just pushed to the southeastern states. Still in it tomorrow. It may end by later in the afternoon, maybe a couple of peaks of sunshine, and then eventually this front comes through and pushes that all out, and we'll see better weather on Wednesday. This is Tropical Storm Andrew with 50-mile-an-hour winds out on the Caribbean, about 925 miles east of the Lesser Antilles, and I'll be watching it for you and keep you posted. Drizzle and fog and rain overnight, 66 in town and about 60 in the suburbs. Again, rain tomorrow morning. The rush hour is going to be a miss, and then things will dry out maybe by very late in the day, 75 tomorrow if we're lucky enough. Check the 5-day forecast now, and you'll see that we have just afternoon storms on Wednesday, and little sun too, 82 degrees. Thursday's better, 80, and look at that. Friday and Saturday, wait a minute, that can't be right. No, we do have sunshine coming in here for both of those days as temperatures hover around 80 degrees. Yeah, sure. And I also have some great land to sell you. Yeah, that's the ticket. More weather for you tomorrow morning on Hot 97. John Coran?
Get that bridge. All right, thanks, Dick. If you like Twin Peaks, then you remember Dana Ashbrook. If you didn't like Twin Peaks, he was Clyde.
With that was
Pennsylvania up to the northern New England coast. During the morning hours, heavy rains, more than an inch at Dover, Delaware, and Salem in South Carolina. Then during the afternoon hours, Atlantic City picked up 2 inches of rain. There were some heavy rains across Florida late in the day. Tallahassee had more than 3 inches, in Gainesville 2.5 inches, and around 9 p.m. Daytona Beach had an inch of rain along with gusty winds of 60 miles per hour. More heavy thunderstorms moved across Minnesota and into Wisconsin, producing some small hail there. Cloudy skies kept temperatures in the 60s in Kansas below normal time of year. There were some tornadoes and funnel clouds with thunderstorms in the eastern part of Colorado. Winds to 60 to 70 miles per hour down around Amarillo with thunderstorms, small hail around Santa Fe. Heavy rains in north with 2 inches of rain with the thunderstorms there. While out west we had record high temperatures. Tucson and Phoenix, Reno, and up in Medford, Oregon. Now, out in the tropical Atlantic, we have our first named tropical storm of the Atlantic season. It's way out on the edge of our picture. This is Tropical Storm Andrew. Now, early this morning at 5 a.m. time, Andrew was still 8 miles to the east of the Lesser Antilles. There's the morning position moving west north to 21 miles per hour. Maximum winds 50 miles per hour, and some slow strengthening is expected for the next day or two. On a regional radar, still west this morning in the eastern metropolitan corridor. It is raining this morning, Portland, Maine, down to Boston, Connecticut raining. It's raining at LaGuardia Airport over in Newark and down in Atlantic City as that rain continues moving off to the northeast and gradually moving offshore. Larger national radar picture, again, as I said, rain up and down the east coast. You can see how it is gradually pulling offshore. That's anywhere from 14 to 18,000 feet this morning. There's 2 inches of rain in parts of southeastern North Carolina. Now, moving to the central part of the country, showers in the Upper Lake. There's some early morning rain around Walking and up towards Sault Ste. Marie. We have showers, a few bed thunder showers across the Midwest and down into the southern regions, the top shooting up to as high as 30,000 feet. Some early rain around Gage, Oklahoma, and down towards the Midland, Texas area. Let's check out the national map. There's that stationary front across the southeast along the Atlantic seaboard, which has been producing the inclement weather. Foggy as well this morning. Athens, Georgia, quite foggy. Visibility down to 0 at Anniston, Alabama. Up in Kentucky, London, Kentucky, and Paducah, they're reporting some heavy fog this morning. Now here comes the cold front moving upper Mississippi Valley. That is triggering some of the showers finding the upper Mississippi Valley and the Great Lakes early this morning. Out in the central states, those showers and thunder showers on the radar, but quite fog as well on the Kansas, Colorado, Colorado, down to just a couple of hundred. And the south of the Mississippi Valley, the visibility is miles in California. And
with sunshine. Wednesday there may be a scattered thunderstorm. There will be partly sunny skies. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday there'll be sunshine and cooler temperatures.
Year and very rainy. Not great weather, as you know, for a day at the beach. National Weather Service meteorologist Mike Weissy says there's a reason for that.
Our storm patterns are similar to spring. We never really have broken into a summer-type pattern. We keep the jet stream too far south, which means that we're going to get storms through the area.
And some experts say the eruption of Mount Pinatubo last year in the Philippines is partly to blame for this crazy weather. Now to our weather expert. Nick, what's around the corner?
Yes, and then it's my job to try to figure out what's going on. I wonder why my hair is falling out, Coran. Tell you what, we do have some better news coming into the forecast, though. We saw that little funny orange object in the sky today for the first time in about 5 days, and now it's going to be here to stay, it looks like. We just have a little minor problem for tomorrow. Other than that, you're going to love this upcoming 5-day forecast. The front that's been bothering us has finally pushed off to the east. The drier air has started to come in now from the west. Now, there's another little front dropping in across the Great Lakes. This has actually been beneficial because this has sort of been the place kicker. This kicked this system out of here. but that will risk a shower in our area sometime tomorrow. Other than that, once that front passes, it's going to be really, really nice. Look at the satellite picture. Great news. All the clouds are moving off to the east, and there's that next system dropping in from the west. Let's check out our current reading in Central Park now. The temperature at 76 degrees. The air is starting to dry out a little bit. Lower humidity. Wind south at 7. Barometer steady. The high today 81, the low 66. And just about a 20th of an inch of rain in the city. And this is Tropical Storm Andrew with 50-mile-an-hour winds, still way down there in the Atlantic, and we'll be watching as it moves to the west at about 20 miles per hour. Here's the forecast overnight. Partly cloudy, but there will be areas of fog, so careful if you're driving later tonight. 65 in town, lower 60s in the suburbs. Tomorrow, a partly sunny day, a threat of an afternoon shower, but it'll be scattered, high of 82. And here's the 5-day forecast. Oh, this is much better than what we've been showing you lately. Look at Thursday, a little cool in the upper 70s, but sunshine, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, wow. And we deserve it. Lots of sunshine with temperatures climbing back up into the 80s. An update at 10. Coran?
We certainly do. Thanks for
Off the whole world, and is at least partly to blame for our wacky weather. The theory is that 15 miles above us in the stratosphere, gases from the eruption are creating a giant sunscreen.
It has temporarily interrupted the global warming trend that has been going on for the past century or so.
To complicate matters, there is a heat wave on the west coast, and here in the east, the jet stream, a powerful wind current, is drifting south, bringing cool air down from Canada. So what's the prediction?
Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to continue into the fall with this cooler pattern over the eastern half of the country, hotter over the western half of the country. Right now, we're looking at it, this is from our Climate Analysis Center, that things should turn around and the winter should be back to near normal temperatures, or else we're in a lot of trouble.
Amy Atkins, Fox News.
And it was certainly so nice to see the sun out today. Nick, are we out of the woods for a while? Sunshine.
Is that sunshine?
I thought it was awfully bright. I wasn't exactly sure what it was.
I thought it was a UFO out there. Hey, we haven't seen the sun in about 4 days. It's like, ooh, a visitor from another world. Turns out to be our sunshine. And it looks like we are just about out of the woods now. Just a little shot at a problem tomorrow afternoon, and then it's smooth sailing on into the weekend. Of course, you heard that before, too, haven't you? Let's go and check out our record books for today. Well, we did see the improvement in the afternoon. The morning started out gray and cloudy and rainy and drizzly and foggy, just like it's been, but the sun came out this afternoon. That got us up to 81, the low 66, almost a 20th of an inch of rain here in the city. 94 in 1987 for the record high, and 55 in 1915 for the record low. Now a very tranquil night in New York, although it's a bit humid out there. 70 degrees, humidity 93%, with a southerly wind at 6 and the barometer 30.03, and it is going up. Temperatures across the area right now under mostly clear and some hazy skies are basically in the mid-70s as you go from Newark almost to the city, and then it drops into the upper 60s out into the island. 64 at East Hampton, though. Danbury 68 tonight, same for White Plains, 65 at Sparta. They have 67 down at Monroe Township tonight. Now, the satellite picture is showing what has triggered all of this mess to get out of here. This front dropping in across the Great Lakes, you see the clouds with it. Look what happens. It's like a place kicker. It kicks that thing right out over the ocean, and we say good riddance because this has been here since the end of last week. So we're in the drying trend now. This is our brief problem for tomorrow. The front, although it acted great for us today to get this weather system out of here, it does have some showers and thunderstorms with it tonight from Illinois and Indiana and eastern Michigan. So we'll be almost under that threat later tomorrow, although the front will be weakening a bit by the time it gets here. So just keep an eye to the sky tomorrow afternoon. Otherwise, it's a partly sunny day. And then this big area of fair weather across the Great Lakes drops in for the rest of the week, and that should take us right on through the weekend. This Tropical Storm Andrew moving through the Atlantic, and notice in the last picture there seems to have sort of blossomed up a little bit. And we're going to check the stats on Andrew as of 10 o'clock tonight. Wind still at 50 miles an hour, about 475 miles east of the Leeward Islands, moving to the west. And again, we'll keep you posted right here at Fox News. Let's check our forecast overnight then. Areas of fog, partly cloudy, 67 in town, 60 to 65 in the suburbs. Partly sunny tomorrow, about 82, so we're getting back to normal, but again, watch out for that afternoon thunderstorm. 5-day forecast. Open your eyes. I've been telling you to close your eyes lately. Now open them wide here. Look at this. 76 Thursday, so a little below normal, but sunshine. And Friday, 79. And look at Saturday and Sunday. I'll believe it if it's true, but it looks great to see it on television anyway. Lots of sunshine, and we'll be getting back up.
Maintaining a pattern of being north of the border, out in the eastern part of the nation, keeping things on the warm side, but the jet along the eastern seaboard has moved offshore, taking the inclement weather along with it, although it's still another cool morning as record lows are already pouring in many spots. As we put this picture into motion, the trough continues in the east, the ridge in the west, but the change by the end of the week is this trough that's offshore. This will move eastward, bringing cooler weather into the western part of the nation, and then more seasonable, warmer temperatures back to the south and eastern part of the country. Let's focus our attention to the U.S. sequence of pictures, and record lows were set yesterday morning again at 29 cities from Texas to Kentucky, third day in a row in some spots. Now, an upper-level disturbance brought some clouds, rain, even a few thunderstorms to parts of the central and southern plains, and in fact, record low high temperatures were set yesterday afternoon, both Amarillo and Wichita Falls. Now, the stationary front finally moved away from the eastern seaboard yesterday, bringing clear skies to much of the mid-Atlantic region by the afternoon, but we still saw some showers and thunderstorms along the stationary part of the front along the Gulf Coast. Rainfall amounts yesterday of about 2 inches at Mobile, 1 inch at Macon, Georgia, and about 1 inch at Orlando, Florida. Now, another cold front pushing through the central part of the nation. This brought some showers to portions of the Great Lakes yesterday. 1/2 inch rain fell during the morning hours at Oscoda, Michigan, and Toledo, Ohio picked up about 1/3 of an inch during the afternoon hours. As we move westward, we saw some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Rockies, the Intermountain region, and parts of the Southwest. 1/2 inch hail at Cheyenne, 1/2 inch of rain at Colorado City in Colorado. Very warm temperatures continued out in the western part of the nation, 100 degrees as far north as Washington. Let's take a look now at the tropical Atlantic, and we've been keeping our eye on Tropical Storm Andrew, located at 17.6 north, 56.3 west, about 345 miles to the east of the northern Leeward Islands. Now, Andrew's moving off to the west-northwest at about 21 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds up to 50 miles per hour. Little change in strength is expected with this storm as it moves off to the west-northwest during the next day or two. In the tropical Pacific, we have a tropical storm to look at. That's Tropical Storm Kay, located at 19.1 north, 117.9 west, about 500 miles to the west-southwest of Baja California. Maximum sustained winds are up to 46 miles per hour, and as this storm moves off to the west at 16 miles per hour, strengthening is expected. We'll take a look now at the National Radar Summary for the morning hours, and we do find a band of showers from the eastern lakes down into the Ohio Valley, tops there to 20,000 feet. Showers and thunderstorms widespread across the south and southeast this morning. Tops range from about 23 to as high as 45,000 feet. And a couple of areas of showers across the high plains, tops to 34,000 feet. Some areas of showers across the southern Rockies and into the southwestern part of the country. Let's move on now to the current weather map, and we find low pressure over the Maritimes. The cold front has moved offshore but remains stationary across the south and down to the Gulf Coast. A lot of fog, though, blankets the eastern third of the nation this morning. Visibility right down to zero at Bar Harbor, Maine, White Plains, New York, and Reading, Pennsylvania. Allentown reporting visibility of 1/16 of a mile. It's another cool morning, as I mentioned. Among the record lows coming in this morning was Chattanooga, Tennessee, with 61 degrees. Stationary front down to the Gulf Coast, showers, thunderstorms, again a lot of dense fog from the central plains down into the southeast. Visibility down to 1.5 miles at Atlanta, Georgia, and Huntsville's reporting visibility of 1 mile. This front stretches from low pressure to the north of Lake Huron. The front stretches back into the plain states, becomes stationary across the high plains. Some showers and quite a bit of fog right along that front this morning. The visibility is down to 5/8 of a mile at Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 1/16 of a mile at Garden City, Kansas, and 1/8 mile at Decatur, Illinois. As we move westward, there's the spotty showers and thunderstorms. Once again, fog is formed along much of the Pacific coast while a cold front is pushing into the northwest. The visibility is down to 1 mile at Arcata, California. Now, the temperature extremes around the nation at 6 a.m. Eastern Time ranged from 40 degrees.
We'll see this forecast. Probably going to make it out. Let's go and check out our current reading. Actually, we'll check the day first. 84 and 68 in New York today. Hey, that was exactly normal for this time of the year. We haven't done that in quite some time. We've been below normal the last couple of days. Just a trace of rain. That's also unusual for what it's been like recently. 94 and 55 are extremes. And now in New York City, under a clearing sky, there were a few sprinkles in the last hour. 69, humidity 64%, wind west at 7, and the barometer 30.03, and it's going up. And that's a sign that our weather is going up, too. We have clearing trend all across the area. It's already cleared out in New Jersey. Still some clouds out on the island. They're in the upper 60s there. But look, across northwest New Jersey, a sign of things to come. Some cool, dry air. It's 55 at Oak Ridge now and 58 at Sparta and Vernon Township. That dry air is moving towards us. Now, the radar shows some showers in Connecticut earlier. These little sprinkles coming on top of the city in the last hour or so. And again, they're moving out, so we're just looking for a clearing trend tonight. The satellite's going to confirm that, too. A line of clouds, this is marking the change for us. It's marking a cold front across the area, bringing the humid air off to our south and the drier and clear skies coming in across the western areas of New York on into Michigan. You can see tonight the reflection of that dry, cool air. Look at these temperatures. These are highs. 61 in Sault Ste. Marie, 71 in Buffalo, and the steamy stuff off to the south. Now, tomorrow, that front has pushed on through, so we get to the better weather. The sunshine comes out. It'll be in the upper 70s with low humidity, and I think this big fair weather regime is just going to build and sit on top of us right on through the weekend forecast. That's right on through the weekend forecast, believe it or not. This is Tropical Storm Andrew. It's out in the Atlantic. Although it looks like it's strengthened during the day, it actually, an airplane has got in there and found that the center has weakened a little bit now, with top winds only at 45 miles per hour. That position about 150 miles east of Puerto Rico. It's moving off to the northwest at 16, and we'll again continue to follow it here for you. Less humid with a clearing sky tonight, 63 in town, near 50, maybe even upper 40s in some of the northern and western suburbs. Great tomorrow, lots of sunshine, high of 78 with a northwesterly wind. That means it'll be nice and warm at the beach, too. Here's the 5-day forecast, and it looks terrific. I mean, look at this, folks. We are making up for lost time. 81 Friday, sunshine. 83 Saturday, sunshine. 85, a little more humid on Sunday, but still sunshine, and then a few clouds by Monday. But by that time, we'll have all become just indulged in this fabulous weather. And an update tomorrow morning on Hot 97. John?
All righty, sounds good. Thanks, Dick. Woody Allen and Mia Farrow are sure grabbing the headlines now and probably will down the road for a while.
For several weeks now, gradually shifting eastward now. Rockies out in the plains. It will continue to do so over the next several days. We're getting a trough along the west coast to bring in some cool air. Some of the major features, as we put those clouds into motion, upper level disturbance triggered a lot of thunderstorms here in the south central states. A front running from the plains to the northeast. And in the lower part of our picture, well, that small area of clouds, that is Tropical Storm Kay. And early this morning position was some 1,200 miles to the southwest of San Diego. Maximum winds this morning, 50, gusting as high as 65 miles per hour. Now, Kay is moving off to the west at 15 miles per hour, and obviously poses no threat to any land areas. But in the tropical Atlantic, we still have a tropical storm, Andrew, which has continued moving on a northwestward course, but very poorly organized. In fact, a reconnaissance aircraft this morning had a hard time finding any circulation center. Maximum winds only 45 miles per hour. The early morning position, some 225 miles to the north-northeast of the northern Leeward Islands. Now, Andrew will continue moving northwest at about 16 miles per hour. Some strengthening is expected after about 24 hours from now. Now, closing in on North America during the past 24 hours, we had a cold front which moved across the lakes to the northeast in Ohio Valley. Brought some showers along the front. Augusta, Maine had a half-inch of rain. Now, down in the southeast, heavy thunderstorms here. Still a lot of humid air. Albany, Georgia had some very heavy rains during the afternoon hours, and even a brief tornado touchdown. Cool, clear air moved in behind the front across the lakes area. Towards the tail end of the front, we saw some more thunderstorms developing up here in the northern plains. Now, through the Rocky Mountain states, again, a day of scattered showers and thunderstorms all the way from Montana down into New Mexico and Arizona. Also, some strong gusty winds between 50 and 60 miles per hour reported such places Helena, Butte, Montana, Burley, Idaho, and down in the Salt Lake City area. Some heavy thunderstorms in the northeastern part of Arizona. Morenci, Arizona had an inch and a half of rain along with gusts of 66 miles per hour and a half inch down around the Douglas, Arizona area. There were California mountains up to a half inch of rain there while it was hot. Death Valley, 124 degrees. Records were set at Billings, Montana, and Pocatello, Idaho. The morning radar shows a lot of this activity in the southeast has been dissipating the hours since midnight. However, we still have some early morning rain up around Raleigh, North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, and down to around the Columbia, South Carolina area. A few thunder showers up here in advance of the cold front, which is moving southward out of Canada. They show up in parts of northwest Minnesota and then back towards the tail end of this front over in parts of Montana. There has been some early morning rain also in northwest Texas, a small area of some isolated showers and thunderstorms reaching up to around 45,000 feet. In fact, Midland around 3:30 local time, they had some small hail and still some thunderstorms down in the Midland area at last report. Well, let's check out the morning national map. Here's this cold front moved off the Atlantic coast, and it trails back westward into the mid-Mississippi Valley this morning. A lot of fog again this morning in the valley areas through the Appalachians from north to south and in the humid air, which covers the southern part of the country. We've got early morning visibility is down to 0 or just a couple of hundred feet reported at DuBois, Pennsylvania, down through Beckley, West Virginia, Atlanta, and westward over towards Fayetteville, Arkansas. Now, near the center of the cool air mass now with clear skies, Mansfield, Ohio has already set a record low temperature this morning at 50 degrees, and still cool enough in the deep south that New Orleans at 69 degrees at least equaled their record low for the day early this morning. Now, here comes some quite cool air moving southward out of Canada into Montana this morning. There's been some rather gusty winds around the cold front. Winds gusting between 30 and 40 miles per hour, Cut Bank, Kalispell, and Lewis, Montana this morning. And along the west coast, California coast especially, some of the usual low clouds and areas.
Westerly winds, and that means we're going to get some very chilly conditions tonight with clear skies. Temperatures dropping back into the 50s as the high moves to the east. More of a south-southwesterly flow of air. That means more moderate conditions. Temperatures getting more summer-like and plenty of sunshine as we head on into the weekend. So our forecast for tonight, clear and cooler, temperatures falling back low 50s north and west. Some even inland sections could see temperatures in the upper 40s. Coastal sections mid to upper 50s. Now, for the day tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. Temperatures in the mid-70s to the low 80s, and the beach forecast looks pretty good, too. Sunshine. It's been a while since we've been able to do a beach forecast, 75 to 80, and then water temperatures 68 to 73 degrees. Extended outlook for you. It just gets better and better through the weekend. Saturday's high, 84 degrees with fair skies. More the same on Sunday and 87. Monday, hazy, a little more humid at 88. Chance of some showers late in the day on Tuesday, and a high of about 89 degrees. So we've got plenty of good news to talk about in 5 days ahead.
What's it like in Barcelona?
Barcelona is dark right now. No, it's not. It's middle of the day.
A little trip down memory lane
Yes.
here.
The central part of the nation, while the front across the south is touching off more showers and thunderstorms. And both the Atlantic and Pacific tropics are active. Let's start out, as we always do, by taking a look at the location of the jet stream. One jet is north of the border, and this is what will be pushing the cooler air into the north-central part of the country. Another branch of the jet still located right off the Atlantic coast, and this is moving northward right along the New England coast and into the Canadian Maritimes. Now, as we put this picture into motion, you'll be able to see the cold front pushing into the north-central part of the nation, and high pressure covers the northeast. But down in the tropical Pacific, we have two storms to look at this morning. The first is Tropical Storm Lester, about 350 miles to the south-southwest of Baja, moving to the west-northwest at about 14 miles per hour, and then 40-mile-per-hour winds are the maximum at this time. Lester is expected to strengthen as he continues to move to the west-northwest. Kay has weakened. It's now a tropical depression, more than 1,000 miles to the west-southwest of Baja, winds down to 35 miles per hour. Now to the tropical Atlantic, and we find Tropical Storm Andrew is beginning to strengthen again. Coordinates this morning put Andrew at 24.3 north, 53.7 west, and off to the northwest at about 12 miles per hour, located 430 miles right now to the northeast of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and the maximum sustained winds at this time are up to 60 miles per hour. We'll take a look at the U.S. sequence of pictures, and we find yesterday morning was another cool one. Records were set from the Great Lakes down to the Gulf Coast. Among these records were 67 degrees at New Orleans, Youngstown, Ohio with 45, and Grand Rapids with 43 degrees. Plenty of active showers and thunderstorms continued across the south and out along the South Atlantic coast. Cape Hatteras picked up 1/3 inches of rain during the morning hours. Florence picked up more than 3.5 inches since Wednesday evening. Showers and thunderstorms were also quite numerous and heavy with this cold front as it pushed into the north-central part of the nation. Heavy rain was reported at both Rousseau and Clearwater up in Minnesota. Active showers and thunderstorms also occurring across the Rockies and parts of the Intermountain West. Thunderstorms with strong winds in Montana. Helena reported wind gusts of 58 miles per hour with 1/3 of an inch of rain. Burley, Idaho at 58 mile per hour winds as well. Showers and thunderstorms were heavy across the southwest. More than 2.5 inches of rain fell at Dewey, and hail and strong winds at 60 miles per hour were reported in Tombstone. Also remained quite warm with a record set in Colorado at Grand Junction with 99 degrees. If we take a look at this morning's national radar summary, we still see some showers and thunderstorms across the southwest and into southern high plains, and more scattered areas of thunderstorms across the northern Rockies. Still some strong storms this morning from the Dakotas into the upper Mississippi Valley with tops from 38 to 43,000 feet, and still plenty of showers and thunderstorms across the south and along the Florida's Gulf Coast. Tops range from about 25 to as high as 49,000 feet. Let's move on to to the current weather map and find high pressure centered over the Ohio Valley with clear skies across much of the northeast. Dense fog has formed in some spots through the northeast. Visibility down to a quarter of a mile up at Lebanon, New Hampshire, and 1/8 mile at Elmira, New York. But more dense areas of fog across the south and southeast. 1/8 mile at Bristol, Tennessee, and a quarter of a mile down at Orlando, Florida. We find another record low was set this morning with cool temperatures at Youngstown, Ohio. It was the second morning in a row with 43 degrees. As this front pushes down into the central part of the nation, still showers and thunderstorms as we saw on radar, and some gusty winds were reported with one of the thunderstorms in Wyoming at Rock Springs, 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Out in the west, the weather's more tranquil, although cold fronts pushing down into northern California and the northwest portions of Nevada, and fog again covers much of the California coast. The temperature extremes at 6 a.m. Eastern Time range from 42 degrees at Glens Falls, New York, to 92 degrees at Yuma, Arizona. Wayne?
Now we'll look at our series of forecast maps, see what the weekend holds. Let's start the map for later on this Friday. We've got a cool air mass over the northeastern part of the country with high pressure. Down over the southeast, however, we still have what's left of that old stationary front. Plenty of humidity in the air, showers and thunderstorms, some of them locally heavy. Got a cold front moving across the lake. That will touch off a few isolated showers and thunderstorms. They really should not amount to much. And cool air is pushed down into the northern plains here in the northern Rockies. There will be cloudy skies, some areas of rain here back in the high plains, Montana Rockies on northward. In fact, a pretty good chance of rain right in the mountains. While over the southwest, we have the usual scattering of showers and thunderstorms late in the day. Somewhat cooler air moving southward over California. Nevada could bring some gusty winds here out to the Sierra Nevada and into the state of Nevada during the day today. Now let's turn to the map for late on Saturday. And again, we have this weak front across the southeast, humid air, showers and thunderstorms. High pressure with fine weather from the lakes to the northeast. Few showers near this cold front in the St. Lawrence Valley. Better chance of rain as we get back to the west end of this front up across northwest Ontario and Manitoba, and then a narrow band of rain extending southward along the front. Again, the cool air pocket here over the north central and states and into the Rockies, and again, that will bring cloudy skies and a chance of rain. Somewhat cooler in the west, as we said, but the southwest over the high terrain, again, the late day showers and thunderstorms. Looking at the map for Sunday, you notice we've had Andrew creeping into the right-hand side of our picture. Of course, these are very early estimates on the future track of Andrew, and certainly the tropical systems can take quite variable courses, so this is an estimate that we're looking for to be well off the east coast of Florida. The showers and thunderstorms here not associated with Andrew, back in the humid air again. Good chance of rain in the lower Mississippi Valley, continuation of dry weather over the northeast quarter. More rain back along our frontal system as a series of low-pressure waves move along it, one after the other, triggering areas of rain and showers all the way back into the northern Rockies. The scattered activity in the southwest. Another trough approaching northwest coast by late day should bring some cloudy skies with rain to west Washington and Oregon. Now, by Monday, that front moves inland, unstable air, few showers over the Cascades, more over the northern Rockies, the usual picture in the southwest. A lot of humid air moving northward here from Texas and Louisiana northward. A good chance of showers and thunderstorms right up the axis of this front and the upper into Canada. And again, we're showing Andrew here a little bit
earlier. We're going to be seeing the best weekend of the summer. I can just about guarantee that for you folks. So make your outdoor plans. You will definitely have all the good weather to enjoy it. Today was beautiful, spectacular. All that sunshine, the high 79 degrees in New York, the low 57. And we had zero precip, again, with all that blue sky. What else can you expect out there but beautiful, beautiful weather? Nice little creative weather shot for us tonight. 96 and 53 make our extremes from 1955 down to 1922. Right now, it's clear as can be, 72, dry air, westerly wind at 5 miles per hour, and a barometer 30.24, and it is on the rise. All right, let's go and check out our weather tonight across the area. It's still cool in some of the northern suburbs, not quite as cool as last night, but it looks like some areas in northwest Jersey may get into the upper 40s. Again, it's already 53 at Oak Ridge, 52 at Haynesville. But it warms up quickly. You get into Midtown and around the area, it's in the lower 70s in many spots, then back to the lower 60s out towards Mattituck and Islip. And we have upper 60s along the Connecticut coast. Okay, here's the satellite picture. We have big fair weather that's moving in. Notice some clouds across the Great Lakes, clouds across the southeast. Don't worry about them because we have a protector that is moving in. It's this big area of high pressure that is sprawling across the area from New England back into the Midwest tonight. Warm air is off to the south, And cool air, that cool air that was in Canada, is sort of getting trapped now across southern sections of Canada. Now, again, the high pressure is going to stick around. It's actually going to strengthen over the weekend, so it'll sit right on top of the northeastern states, and that means us. And so it'll keep all the bad weather away. We'll be looking for a great forecast for this upcoming weekend with a slow warm-up in temperatures. Well, this is Tropical Storm Andrew. It's getting stronger as the day goes along here. Winds are now increasing up to 65 miles per hour as it continues to move off to the west-northwest. Right along the southeast coast of the United States. Maybe if it keeps up on that track by the early part of Monday or Tuesday, we may have to worry about landfall. And there's the coordinates. It is about 600 miles or so east of Nassau in the Bahamas. Great for the beach tomorrow and Sunday, upper 70s, low 80s, variable winds about 10 knots. Terrific for boating. What can I say, folks? It's a great forecast. Clear and comfortable tonight, 62 in town, low 50s north and west. Tomorrow, bright sunshine and the high 86 degrees. Again, a little cooler at the shore. 5-day forecast. Enjoy this one. God knows when we'll see this again. Sunday, 87 and sunny. A little more humid, 88 on Monday, but still great. Some thunderstorms later on Tuesday and then cooling down just a bit on Wednesday. And, of course, if this forecast does not work out, you will not see me here on Monday. I'll let Alan take care of the abuse for that. Have a great weekend. John?
Okay, Nick. In the market for a date? Some folks have...
City, same at Islip. White Plains, 60. High today, 79. Overnight low, 57 degrees. And here's the latest on our tropical storm named Andrew as it's chugging along through the Atlantic. Right now, it is about 610 miles just to the north of... or should I say east of Nassau, Bahamas. Wind 65 miles per hour is moving west-northwest at about 10 miles per hour. Keeping an eye on this. Within 72 hours, it may be affecting the southeastern United States. But for us right now, big area of high pressure dominating, light variable winds tonight, so it's going to get chilly. Temperatures low to mid-50s north and west. But as that system moves to the east, well, we're looking at a warmer flow of air. Plenty of sunshine should hang right in through the weekend. Temperatures getting more and more warm and humid as we move on through the period. So our forecast for tonight, clear skies, low to mid-50s north and west, mid-50s to the mid-60s everywhere else. For the day tomorrow, beautiful. Sunny skies, temperatures upper 70s along the shore, low to mid-80s along the coastal sections away from the water, and we're looking for water temperatures 68 to 73 degrees. Extended outlook for you, pretty good. We're looking for a decent amount of sunshine on Sunday. Temperature up to about 86 degrees. More the same on Monday and 88. More humid. Chance of afternoon showers or thunderstorms on Tuesday. High of 88. And Wednesday, fair skies, a little less humid, and a temperature of 86 degrees. So we've got a fabulous weekend for you. And if it doesn't turn out this way, I won't be here on Monday.
Well, that's how sure you are.
I'm just letting you know that. I'm not coming in.
Commissioner. Mile-an-hour winds are churning along in the Atlantic. Let's look at our satellite picture. It's moving to the west at about 15 miles an hour, and at the moment it is located just 650 miles east of Miami, and it is expected to strengthen beyond the 100-mile-an-hour sustained winds. Hurricane warning tonight in the Bahamas. Hurricane watch on the east coast of Florida, all the way from Titusville south through the Florida Keys, and possible landfall on the Florida coast within the next 48 hours. Now look at the lower left-hand part of your screen there as we switch to the west coast. That's Hurricane Lester, 120 miles west of Baja, Mexico, moving north at 10 miles an hour with 80-mile-an-hour winds. A couple of hurricanes, one in the Atlantic, one in the Pacific, and of course officials are keeping an eye on it. We'll keep you posted. We have a forecast that's different coming up later on News 4. Comfortable. It's 79 degrees, partly sunny, wind from the northeast at 5 miles an hour, rising barometer, and relative humidity is 47%. And again, we look at the satellite picture of the entire nation, and you see Hurricane Lester on the left-hand lower part of your screen, and just coming into view a little bit is Hurricane Andrew. That's 600 miles east of Miami, and the aforementioned update on that is that they are both packing some incredibly strong winds and perhaps a landfall in the Florida area sometime within the next 48 hours. We'll bring you up to date later on tonight at 11 o'clock on News 4. Back to our part of the world, the temperature hit a high today of 82 in Central Park and a low of 59, and temperatures are in the 70s and 80s around the tri-state. And tonight we're going to see a clear sky with light winds, and our lows will fall back into the 50s and 60s.
Atlantic Ocean. Residents along the Florida coast were stocking up on supplies, topping off gas tanks. The storm, packing winds up to 95 miles an hour, is more than 600 miles off the Florida coast now and moving westward. Forecasters say that Andrew could hit the Bahamas Sunday night, reach Florida sometime Monday.
It's 70 now, dew point dry, humidity also the same. Nary a breath at all. Calm breeze in Central Park,
30.29 and rising the barometer. Skies are generally clear across the northern suburbs where it's already in the low to mid-50s in the cool spots, but Newark and LaGuardia are 73. Islip and Suffolk County Airport reporting mid-60s. Again, these are official reporting stations now. High clouds still across much of central and south Jersey, and we can see that on the satellite very clearly. Look at New England. They've been in the clear all day. These high clouds really outline the jet stream coming out of Kentucky and Tennessee and then bending to the east over us. They came all the way out of the Appalachians, and those high clouds filtered and dimmed the sun. So especially across much of New Jersey's beaches and across Long Island, too, during the afternoon, people are looking up saying, where's all that sun? Well, we've got more than that. We have got a powerful hurricane. This is a 12-hour motion from 9 a.m. this morning. The loop ends at 9 p.m. this evening. This is Andrew. You can clearly see what's going on. Like the skater that slowly pulls its arms in, you can see from the beginning of the frame how the hurricane, though intense, is rather broad. But notice the end of the loop, how small it's getting, and you can see that little eye there. That shows you that it's very, very well defined. There's big thunderstorms. The reconnaissance aircraft in there shows that the storm has really strengthened a lot more, and I suspect that the advisory is going to be showing winds above what the 8 o'clock motion and the 8 o'clock intensity showed. Anyway, as far as where it is right now, as of 8 p.m. anyway, the position was at 25.8 north, 71.0 west. That is about 570 miles to the east of Miami. It's moving to the west at 15. I think on the 11 o'clock advisory, you'll see those winds to 110 miles an hour or more, and the pressure is down to 959 millibars or 28.32 inches. Now, a hurricane watch is up from Titusville down to Dry Tortugas. Basic computer forecasts say that southern Florida from Palm Beach to Miami in the northernmost end and maybe all the way down to the middle or upper Keys is the strike possibility. And as I said, this is Category 3 now. It could be even stronger by the time it gets to the South Florida coast by Monday morning. And here's the reason why. Big ridge of high pressure can't come up the East Coast, has to go west. And this is eventually going to be a threat, I think, even for the middle or upper Gulf Coast. We'll be watching that, too. Here, no problems at all. Sunshine and dry weather, hopefully less high clouds. The same for Monday as temperatures slowly go up. So overnight tonight, I'm predicting the skies will be clear to the north, some high clouds to the south, mid-60s city, 45 to 50 to the north and west. Tomorrow, hopefully more sunshine than today. Onshore to southerly winds, 8 to 13 knots, the water in the low 70s. The 5-day forecast tells us that we're going to have, finally, this last week of August, some really warm weather. Temperatures maybe near 90 before the week is out. Lots going on. Of course, we'll update everyone again tomorrow at 11.
This storm allows it to get stronger for another 24 hours or so. So it could get stronger before it affects the United States.
Now, while we're about it, NASA is watching Hurricane Andrew intently from Cape Canaveral since the winds could affect whether or not they roll out the shuttle Endeavour on Tuesday.
Someone else is watching Hurricane Andrew. It's Ira Joe Fisher. You've got it, sir?
Yes, indeed. We have some pretty graphic satellite pictures of it here, Carol and Ralph. There's the hurricane and its eye. See it forming. Here's the Florida Peninsula, Cuba, and the Bahamas. 110-mile-an-hour winds now. Could even get stronger. It's moving pretty much due west at about 14 miles an hour and could make landfall in the Bahamas, northwest Bahamas by tomorrow evening. Could hit Florida by Monday. And there are hurricane warnings in the Bahamas now and a hurricane watch eastern Florida all the way from Titusville to the Keys. Want to show you also over in the Pacific, this Hurricane Lester moving pretty much north-northeast at about 10 miles an hour. It has 80-mile-an-hour winds, could strengthen a little bit as well. Let us write down...
Miles per hour. Its effects already are being felt tonight. So far, a million Floridians have been evacuated from coastal areas. Governor Childs has declared a state of emergency. The National Guard has been put on alert. There's real concern about the nuclear power plants that are in Florida. Our Charles Ewey is standing by live in North Miami right now with this report.
The airport is closed. The streets are mostly deserted. The shelters are full, but the winds are still calm in Miami at this hour. That, however, is expected to change within the hour. Deserted beaches and empty hotels. Miami Beach became a ghost resort Sunday in the face of powerful Hurricane Andrew, which is taking aim on South Florida. Some diehards took advantage of the abandoned sand and got in the final rays before the storm hits.
I guess I'll do what I can do, but I can't do much about it. So it don't really worry me.
The irreverent painted a prayer for surf on boarded-up buildings, a wish that seemed destined to be granted before dawn. More than 1 million people were ordered out of their homes in the face of the storm, which could be the worst to strike the area in almost 70 years.
We heard on the television. Get ready, go, 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 evacuate, go, go, go. How about the people that don't have a car, that are old and
Those that could sought shelter. Thousands more simply fled the hurricane's path moving north. Supermarket shelves were virtually cleaned of non-perishables. Bread and water were hard to come by.
Got to get this water, you know. We got plenty of supply actually where we're going, but we have to have our own supply.
Bread, a lot of peanut butter sandwiches, milk, and beans. Beans.
In some cases, lines to purchase gasoline were several blocks long. Boat owners did what they could to protect expensive investments, but marina operators were none too optimistic the lavish vessels would escape the onslaught.
We're trying to do what we can at least to salvage the boats. If we have that kind of storm situation where at least the boats won't float away, and if there's damage, the damage will be held to this one particular area.
The sound of power saws and hammers fill the air downtown as business owners boarded up.
There's going to be a lot of wind and water come across the barrier island, and I think there's going to be a lot of damage.
Some people tried to place sandbags at the entrance to an underground garage, but that could be a futile effort. Officials say Biscayne Bay could be hit with a hurricane surge of as much as 13 feet of water, which they think could flood Miami Beach and most of downtown.
And forecasters say it's likely that if Andrew comes ashore in Miami, landfall will be somewhere around dawn tomorrow morning. This is Charles Zewey reporting live from Miami.
Thank you, Charles. Our meteorologist, Linda Church, has been tracking this very dangerous storm all day. She's at the weather map right now with the latest. Linda.
Currently, Jason, the Hurricane Andrew, is located 170 miles east of Miami. Movement is straight to the west, so it does look like Miami is where the eye of the storm will actually pass right over. Currently, it is a Category 4 storm, and it looks like tropical storm conditions will begin just after midnight tonight. So in the next couple of hours, they'll start to see winds getting up around 50, 55 miles per hour. They can expect hurricane-force conditions just after 4 or 5 o'clock early this morning. Now let's take a look where the watches and warnings are out for Hurricane Andrew. Titusville down to Vero Beach, Florida, hurricane watch, as well as Bayport to Venice. This is very important for you people who have friends and relatives in the area. Vero Beach, all the way down throughout Key West, hurricane warning. That means hurricane conditions will exist throughout this area and then continuing up to the west coast around Venice. After this storm moves across the state of Florida overnight into tomorrow, it is expected to move out into the Gulf of Mexico, regroup, gain strength, and then possibly head towards Texas or Louisiana. Now here's a look at the vital statistics on Hurricane Andrew. Right now located 170 miles east of Miami. Movement is to the west at 16 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds. This is a powerful storm, 145 miles per hour. We will continue to keep you, of course, updated. Jason and Tim.
Linda, quickly, point of clarification. This is heading west, so therefore it will not affect us, or might it?
No. Right now, there doesn't seem to be a threat to New York City. It's moving into the Gulf of Mexico, and that's where it will continue. Louisiana and Texas need to keep their eye out on this storm, as well as Mississippi and Alabama.
Okay, Linda, we'll be back later on in the broadcast with more on Hurricane Andrew.
This is a Fort Lauderdale. It's a ghost town. Andrew is expected to hit land early tomorrow morning. 1 million people in Andrew's path have been told to evacuate their homes. Forecasters say it could be the most powerful storm to hit the United States in decades. A state of emergency has been declared in Florida, and Eric Shawn is standing by live. Eric.
Good evening from an empty Miami Beach and a very anxious South Florida that is on the edge. The good news tonight is that the hurricane has shown some slight signs of weakening, winds from 150 down to 145 miles an hour. What you're seeing behind me right now is really the calm before the storm. For tonight here in Florida, 1 million people have been evacuated. 50,000 are in shelters right now as the Andrew hurricane is expected to hit in about 9 hours. Darkness was swift and ominous as the Florida coast braces for an angry attack that could be one of the most devastating ever. Hurricane Andrew's unforgiving 150-mile-an-hour winds are taking dead aim at the Miami area. More than 1 million residents have been evacuated, clogging roads and highways. Their worst fears may be realized when Andrew hits before dawn. While many took action to protect homes and businesses, a mandatory evacuation was ordered for waterfront areas of Miami. In Miami Beach, the elderly and sick were removed from hospitals. The streets are emptied, but others vowed to ride the storm out.
I trust Mother Nature. I've never lived through anything like this. I have no idea what to expect or what could happen, but I just think it couldn't possibly be that bad.
The growing menace triggered a run on supermarkets. Shelves quickly cleared as people lined up for bottled water, flashlights, and batteries. About 2 hours ago...
Obviously, we're having some technical problems with that simulcast, so hopefully later on in the show we'll be able to bring you more. But Alan will be here later with the latest on Hurricane Andrew.
Our satellite picture, and the hurricane center is located about 135 miles to the east of Miami, and you can see the clouds ahead of it are already covering the Florida peninsula. It is packing at the moment winds of 140 miles an hour, down from the 150 earlier, but still a Category 4 very dangerous hurricane. And the storm surges look now to be 7 to 13 feet generally. Rainfall amounts 5 to 10 inches, and there are tornado warnings in effect in central and southern Florida in advance of the arrival of the hurricane. Bad weather, very dangerous. Stay tuned. We'll keep you posted. Carol.
Thanks very much, Ira. And our coverage of Hurricane Andrew continues.
We will check it in a moment on our satellite view. Let's ponder our current temperatures in New York City, shall we? Temperature is 68 and clear, a southeast wind at 5, 37 on the barometer and steady, 81% humidity. And here is that aforementioned hurricane, very violent and now approaching the southeastern Florida coast with its 140-mile-an-hour winds. And it's about 135 miles to the east of Miami at the moment. Our satellite picture is certainly different. Look at New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and all of New England. Clear skies because of a high pressure ridge that has given us this weekend, by contrast with that in Florida, much nicer weather. Plenty of sunshine, and we're going to see the humidity increase. Our high today was 86 and the low was 63. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s around our tri-state now. Tonight they'll fall back into the 60s. Patches of fog will form. The sky above that fog.
In his career at the top of the fourth, Scott Sanderson gave up 2 more runs in the fifth. But Mark Langston had his problems in the sixth, getting a bit wild. This throw got the Yankees the first run with Pat Kelly sliding in safely. A Charlie Hayes single drove in another, and a bases-loaded walk tied it.
Well, they're going to have a landfalling hurricane in the next, about 6 to 8 hours, and we'll talk about that straight ahead. 86 degrees was the high, 64 the low. We're currently at 68. The dew point still low, a light southeast wind, a steady but strong barometer, and a clear sky. Satellite view shows clear skies over the area, a few high clouds, and the bark worse than the bite across Pennsylvania. These are just high clouds, and they'll be dissipating. We've got some great weather ahead. Here's where Andrew is as of 11 o'clock, 25-4 north, 78-1 west, 135 east of Miami. Winds of 140 miles an hour sustained. There were 150 early this afternoon when it reached its peak, west at 16 miles an hour. Hurricane warnings in effect from Vero down to Miami, through the Keys up to Venice. Tropical storm warnings from Bayport to Venice and Titusville to Vero. But I can tell you right now, from Palm Beach to Vero, well, they'll get some wind gusts perhaps up to about the hurricane force. The worst will be probably from Palm Beach south. Here's a satellite view. 12 hours worth of motion from 10 o'clock this morning through 10 o'clock tonight. And you can clearly see the eye as it moves across Eleuthera Island, where earlier this afternoon they had a wind gust to 120 miles an hour, where it moved across to the north of Nassau, where they had winds of 85 to 105 miles an hour, and moving just to the north of Andros Island. You can see that down along the Gold Coast and the Keys, they're in pretty good shape. The winds haven't picked up very strongly. And the latest radar loop that we can see, which is taking place from 7:30 tonight until around 10:45, will show you the motion of the eye coming across Eleuthera, down across the northern part of Andros Island. You look here, Miami, that's Palm Beach and Miami, nothing much going on. This is a very small hurricane. The hurricane force winds are only within 30 miles either side of the eye. So you're going to have about a 60-mile wide swath of devastation, but as you go farther north from Palm Beach north to Vero, they're not going to fare too badly. The west coast of Florida, the upper Keys from Key Largo up to Venice, will take a pretty good pounding. This will move across southern Florida during tomorrow morning, will move offshore, and this is going to be another major threat for the Louisiana or Texas coast in about 2 or 3 days. Again, highest winds are only around 140 miles an hour, down from 150, and the reconnaissance flight earlier today found winds at flight level at 1,500 feet of nearly 200 miles an hour, but it has weakened slightly. Still, this is going to be the strongest storm in South Florida in about a half a century or so. Well, the forecast weather map for tomorrow says we'll be in fine shape across the metropolitan area with high pressure holding supreme, 88 degrees, sea breezes along the shore. The same for Tuesday. This weather front to the south, to the northwest, though, will start coming down, and by Thursday should be past us. A new tropical disturbance south of Bermuda, off North Carolina by midweek. We'll be watching that too. Clear, comfortable, mid to upper 60s in the city, low 50s north and west. Tomorrow we'll have plenty of sunshine, warm. Humidity will creep up with a bit of haze well into the 80s. Your 5-day forecast tells us we've got some great weather ahead. Maybe a thunderstorm by midweek, but all in all, summertime comes for the last stages of this week of August, but all eyes will be in South Florida. And if they can get through the next 12 to 18 hours, Rosanna, they'll have it made, but there's going to be big problems there.
Okay, we'll keep watching that area and see what happens. Thanks a lot, Alan. The rock group Steely Dan was...
Miami this morning. The storm, the most powerful to hit the United States